You ever walk past a door with a no entry sign and just wonder? There's something about a locked door that just pulls you in, right? It's that hint of a secret just on the other side. Well, today, we're going to try and peek behind some of the world's most forbidden doors and unlock the stories of places you are absolutely not allowed to go.
But seriously, let's think about that. What is it about that simple phrase, "you can't go in there," that just lights a fire under our curiosity? I think it's a basic human thing. We just have to know what the mystery is. And believe me, the places we're about to explore hold some of the biggest mysteries on the entire planet.
So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to look at the reasons for all this secrecy. First, we'll dig into secrets of faith and fortune. Then, we'll head into the vaults of power. After that, we'll visit zones of total isolation, places that need to be protected from us. And we'll wrap it all up by asking what else is still out there, hidden away. All right, our first stop is all about value. And I mean immense value. We're talking about places that are off limits to protect things so incredibly precious, either in a spiritual way or a financial one, that they have to be kept under lock and key, far away from any prying eyes.
It's kind of wild when you think about it, isn't it? Whether you're guarding a sacred religious artifact or a recipe worth billions of dollars, the level of dedication to keeping that secret is pretty much the same. Let's look at two perfect and very different examples.
So in Axum, Ethiopia, there's this small chapel that is said to hold the actual Ark of the Covenant. But here's the truly mind-blowing part. Only one single person on Earth is allowed to see it. A guardian monk is chosen for life, and from the moment he enters the chapel grounds, he can never, ever leave. His entire life becomes a solitary vigil to protect this sacred object.
Okay, now let's jump from a sacred relic to soda. In Atlanta, Georgia, the Coca-Cola Vault protects a totally different kind of Holy Grail, the original 135-year-old secret formula. And this isn't just a recipe, it's a multi-billion-dollar secret. The security is just as serious. Only a couple of executives know the full thing, and there's a company rule that they can't fly on the same airplane, ever. And this just lays it out so perfectly. On one hand, you have a sacred vow, a man dedicating his entire existence to a 3,000-year-old object of faith. And on the other, you have a strict corporate policy to protect a 135-year-old recipe. The reasons couldn't be more different, but the outcome is exactly the same. A locked door that you and I will never get through. Okay, let's shift gears. Now we're talking about places that are forbidden not just to protect one thing, but to protect the entire machinery of national power, of wealth, and of intelligence. We're talking about real-deal fortresses. They aren't just built to be secure. They're built to be symbols, to project this vibe of being completely invincible. They're designed to handle anything, from a brilliant heist to, nuclear war. I mean, you've heard the saying, as secure as Fort Knox, right? Well, there's a reason for that. This place is the stuff of legend. Built way back in 1936, its whole job is to protect America's gold. And get this, no unauthorized person has ever gotten inside. And here's why it's so secure. Inside that granite-walled fortress sits 147 million ounces of gold. That's half of the entire U.S. gold reserve. The main vault door, the combination is split up between so many different people that no one person can open it alone. It's literally impossible. But, power isn't just about gold anymore. It's about information. Deep in the Australian outback, you'll find Pine Gap, one of the most secretive spy bases in the world. Those weird giant golf balls you see are really satellite dishes, the eyes and ears of a global surveillance network. We're talking about controlling satellites that monitor a third of the entire planet. What goes on in there is so secret, even most Australian government officials have no idea. So what happens if the absolute worst-case scenario unfolds? That's what Mount Weather is for. Tucked away in Virginia's mountains, this is America's doomsday bunker. It's basically a secret, self-sufficient city built deep inside a mountain, tough enough to survive a direct nuclear hit. It's designed so the president and other top leaders can keep the government running. Most Americans have never even heard of it, but it's there, a hidden city waiting for a day we all hope never ever comes. So far, we've seen doors locked to keep people out and secrets in. But for this next part, we're going to look at places where the locks are there to protect what's inside from us. These are places that are preserving pieces of our past, or maybe even vital clues to our future. And this is a really fascinating twist, isn't it? These aren't vaults hiding treasure or government secrets. These are places so incredibly delicate that our very presence, our breath, our touch, our footsteps, is the biggest threat there is. Look at Hashima Island in Japan. Back in 1959, it was one of the most densely populated spots on the entire planet, an island city built for coal mining. But just 15 years later, the coal ran out, and the city was abandoned almost overnight. Today, it's a real-life ghost town, off-limits not because of some secret, but simply because the whole concrete city is literally collapsing into the ocean. It's just not safe. The story of Kalaupapa in Hawaii, it's just one of immense sadness, but also amazing resilience. For over 100 years, this isolated peninsula was a place of forced exile for people with leprosy. Over 8,000 people were sent there, cut off from the world by these massive sea cliffs. Now, the disease is treatable, but the area is still highly restricted, out of deep respect for the privacy of the few remaining elderly residents who chose to live out their lives there. Wow. So from a place locked by its tragic history, we go to one that's sealed off for its totally alien-like environment. The McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica, they're so extreme that NASA actually uses them to test gear for Mars missions. It's the biggest ice-free area on the continent, and some spots literally haven't seen rain in 2 million years. It's a pristine scientific lab, and it's forbidden to almost everyone to keep it that way.
And sometimes a forbidden zone is created by human conflict. The Green Line in Cyprus has split the capital city Nicosia since 1974. It's a UN-patrolled no-man's land, and it's a perfect time capsule. You can see cars and buildings left exactly as they were when the fighting started. Because people can't go in, it's become this unintentional wildlife sanctuary right in the middle of a city.
So we've journeyed from sacred chapels to corporate vaults, from doomsday bunkers to ghost towns. It's pretty clear the world has a lot of secrets, all locked away for very, very different reasons. So, what's the big takeaway here? I think it's that secrecy isn't just one thing. It can be an act of faith, it can be a business strategy, it can be a matter of national security, or even an act of preservation. Every single one of these locked doors tells a unique story about what we, as people, think is valuable enough to hide from the rest of the world. Which, of course, leaves us with one final big question. In our world today, with satellites that can see everything from space and data flying everywhere all the time, are there any locked doors left that can truly stay locked forever? What do you think?